guys, it's Sheena from Teton Raptor Center, and I'm here to give you all this week's patient update. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to kick things off this week by highlighting not one, not two, but three of our most recent releases from this week. Here we have red-tailed hawk 1021, and this is the bird that came in from Lander with some rodenticide poisoning. So he is back out in the wild and is doing great. Our second release of the week is red-tailed hawk 11-8, and this bird actually also came from Lander, so they were able to drive back to Lander together thanks to a volunteer transporter. This bird initially came in with head trauma, and here he is flying back out into the wild, a nice beautiful flight up into that tree. Our third and final release of the week was this Cooper's hawk. This is 925, and here he is maneuvering a little bit in his agility course that we had set up in his enclosure. He did amazing out on this agility course and ultimately was ready for release. And lastly, here is that same hawk's release video back out into the wild. As a reminder, this bird came in with a scapula fracture due to a window strike, so we're really excited to get him back out there. Moving right along to our current patients, this guy is red-tailed hawk 1214 and came in with a small metacarpus fracture in his right wing. The fracture looks a little bit old, so he's not been able to fly and has been on the ground, and as a result, he hasn't been able to hunt. So he's also quite emaciated. He's not really in stable condition, so this photo isn't the greatest, but we wanted to really minimize the time that he was out for treatment and medication. So this is the only picture that we got, but right now his prognosis is heavily guarded, but we're going to do the best we can with what we've got. Next up is another new bird. This is sharp-shinned hawk 1214, and this bird came in with a fractured coracoid, a fractured scapula, and a fractured toe, all on the right side of his body. He is currently living in our oxygen unit and is doing well so far. You can see his tail's kind of pushed up against the corner there. So something that we'll be doing in his next treatment is applying a tail guard, since these guys have really long tails and they can get stuck up in the corners like that. This is a really fun bird because this marks our 200th patient of the year. So we are now at 201 birds for 2023 with this guy and the red-tailed hawk that you saw previously. Next up is red-tailed hawk 1129, and this bird has recently moved out of the ICU and into a PCU where he's got plenty more room. You can see him outstretching his right wing over here in this photo. This bird came in with a lead level and was treated with a chelation therapy to remove those heavy metals from the body. He underwent 1 round of chelation, and his blood lead level has stayed low enough to not warrant another round of chelation. He does still, however, have some trauma going on to the left shoulder, and you can see that he's actually not even opening that left wing. He's got one wing open in a defensive posture, but the other one is kind of remaining close to his side. He's doing well so far, but we are going to keep him in this enclosure with that ground perch, so his options will be to either perch up there or to hang out on the ground until that until that left shoulder is feeling better. Next up, we've got Merlin 11-8, and this is the bird with the fracture in his left ulna due to a gunshot. He is doing a little bit better. Fracture's healing. We'll be getting him out in a couple days for a wrap change and new x-rays, and we'll hopefully be able to remove the wrap at this stage because things should have theoretically healed up. So maybe, just maybe, next week he'll be able to move into a PCU and out of the ICU. Last but not least this week is great horned owl 1023, and here we have this bird flying out in the flight barn. He came in from Rexburg, Idaho, and actually had a fracture in his right coracoid, so it's awesome that he's now flying. Here are some great slow-mo clips of him. He's flapping, and then he's gliding up to that perch towards the very end. All right, that's all we've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about our birds. Remember that if you want to do your part to help keep wild birds wild, you can check out our website at tetonraptorcenter.org and make a donation. Also, if you click the description below, there's a link there to donate. Bye!